Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. My stepsister Emily and I have always had a rocky relationship, and there were many reasons for that. But never in a million years would I have thought that she'd stoop to this level. I mean, what have I done to her that she felt the need to stoop to a level this low? So here is how it all went down. It was yesterday. I was at my dad's place for Christmas. I visit my dad's place for Christmas every year. It's not the best thing I can do because, like you guys might have guessed now, my relationship isn't the best with my stepmom and Emily. But I go there every year for the sake of my dad. I love him very much, and even though I'm not going to lie and sugarcoat that it hurts, that he never sees how much hurt his daughter and wife cause me, I know he's getting old and I need to get as much time as I can with him. So, well, that was my first mistake, I guess. Everything, honestly, was as normal as it could be. I cannot bring up one red flag that came up before all of this. I cannot say that Emily and my stepmom were too sweet to me. Neither can I recall them being too evil to me. This isn't me trying to bring out the goodness in them. I can confirm that there isn't any goodness in these two women, but well, before everything happened, I just can't recall anything bad about them either. So I spent my days leading up to this event as normally as I possibly could. I cooked with them, I ate with them, and I generally had a pretty fun time with them, all at a distance with my stepmom and stepsister, which I honestly had gotten used to by this point. Christmas went well. It was the same old. The only difference was that my boyfriend Lexi had dropped by this year. Lexi and I have been together for the past 6 years, and honestly, I thought it was about time that I introduced him to my family. And well, no special notes on that either. My stepmom, dad, and Emily seemed pretty happy for me about my relationship, and assuming that was about it, I let it go. Then yesterday happened. I extended my stay way beyond Christmas because it was getting cold, and my work isn't that far from my dad's house. So, for the warm bed and meals provided to me with open arms, can you believe that? I decided to stay back. Big mistake. Big mistake, I know. And it didn't even happen to me immediately after I made my decision. It took Emily almost a month to plan and plot for what she thought was my ultimate downfall. And well, it just happened. Yesterday was the day. It was Sunday. I spent the day before lazing around and had gone to grab drinks and food with Lexi. I had a good time but was exhausted to the maximum, so I slept the day away. When Sunday came and I woke up in my bed, which lay in front of a huge mirror, and saw my previously long, luscious hair chopped off to a freaking buzz cut, I thought I was having sleep paralysis episode. I ran to the bathroom to look at myself in the mirror, hoping that I was living some sort of terrible nightmare. I moved to one mirror after the other, each confirming that my nightmare had come true. It was at this point that I made the huge mistake to walk into the living room, hoping to get some closure and maybe some comfort from one human to another. But that was far from it. I walked into the living room with tears in my eyes and me hyperventilating. My eyes had turned red, and it was all so bad that I still had pieces of chopped up hair on my t-shirt. But then I saw it. I saw my stepsister looking at me while laughing her butt off, and that is all I needed. I knew she was the one behind it. I asked her why immediately, and that is when she told me the truth, the real reason, the reason that would change my view of her forever. She spoke to me in this eerily calm voice, almost sounding like a psychopath, telling me how she did it for her mother. She told me how her mom couldn't bear the sight of me growing up to look the same as my dead mother, so she decided to give her this late Christmas gift. My jaw dropped on the floor. It felt like it had finally gotten to me somehow. Emily sipped on some coffee as if nothing had ever happened. I realized I wasn't talking to Emily, the girl who I had thought was my stepsister, the daughter of my father. I realized I was talking to a psychopath who's out to get me. I packed my bags then and there and didn't even bother to change my clothes. Emily said nothing. I rushed out of the house to my apartment, called Lexi, and well, here's where I am. I have spent the past day crying my heart out. I have no confidence to get out of the house. But there's one thing I've decided. I'm going to file a restraining order against her and everyone siding with her, my dad being one of them. He's already found out about the situation. He's already sided with my stepsister, begging me to come back and sort things through with her. But this time, I've had enough. I think there's no coming back from this. There's nothing that can fix things. What do you guys think about this situation? AITA? I don't think I am, but I'd like to know you guys' opinion on this too. So it's been a week since everything has gone down, and although there's not anything specific that happened, a lot of you guys were asking me for some details relating to me, Emily, my stepmom, and my mom. I hope this post clears up all and every doubt you guys have. Emily moved into our house when she was 15 and I was 14. We were at a very weird time of our lives back then. Not just in the teen hormone sense, but also because both she and I had a parent that has passed away. We had horrible coping skills and, well, that embarked us into our rocky relationship. It didn't help that my stepmom disliked me as well, for something I honestly still don't understand why. I mean, now it's pretty obvious as to why, because I remind her of my mom, but well, come on, guys. How is that something I can control? But meh, I guess that's just something some people can comprehend. My stepmom not being one of them. Well, back to the present moment. I got over my horrible coping skills, got a therapist, got a life, and here am I. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same about Emily. Emily sadly became a shell of herself. She dropped out of college within the first year, had no relationships and friendships, and now just spends time gaming and stuff. I'm not one to judge her lifestyle, but you guys know what I mean, and I hope this gives you a bit more insight into my life. As for the current situation, I have started to feel a little better. So I'm going to try to get things done bit by bit. I'll keep you guys updated about the same. Hi guys, here's a short update. I finally got out of the house, got myself a haircut, and well, it feels refreshing. I'm starting to accept this new version of myself, and my boyfriend, therapist, and friends have been the greatest of my supporters. As for the restraining order, I have approached the lawyers to talk things through. It's going to be a bit of a complicated issue, and unfortunately, due to privacy issues, I cannot reveal much of the information. But all I can say is that lawyers are positive. Not just about the restraining order, but something beyond it. It feels like it's the best thing that can happen to me. It feels like, in a way, everything that's been happening was meant to be. Now, all I'm hoping for is a good outcome. I'll keep you guys updated. It's been 6 months since I posted on this subreddit. Crazy, I know. I can't believe the way I started this post. I remember the girl I used to be. I had nothing but good things to say about the people who I thought were my family. I tried to see all the good things in them, even though there was nothing good about them. I guess I'm really like my mom after all, trying to look for all the good things in the bad people. LOL. Dark humor aside, I'm truly being honest when I say this situation has been a humbling, eye-opening experience. It's been the breaking point that I needed so that I could finally build boundaries around myself from people as horrible as my family. Enough of my emotional venting for now. Let me get to the actual update. So, first off, for the best news out of it all, I was able to finally get the restraining order against Emily, and with a lot of hard work, thanks to my lawyers, we were also able to sue her for physical and mental damages. All of these things have not ended for my dad. He's been miserable ever since he's gotten the news of me suing Emily. Let me repeat, he's miserable over me suing Emily. Let me repeat, he's miserable over me suing his stepdaughter and not over his own blood being hurt so horribly by his stepdaughter. Well, regardless, from what I have heard, he's being divorced by my stepmom over all of this very soon. He's trying to reach out to me ever since, and I've been avoiding him like the plague. I mean, regardless of the reason, why should I waste my time on a miserable person like him? I have a new life now, just like he did when he decided to pick his wife over me. I have my fiancé. Yes, he proposed. My friends and myself, and I guess after all, that's all I need. And that's what I've learned from you guys, to push my boundaries if people are unwilling to accept them, and I cannot thank you guys enough for such valuable help. Take care, everyone. NTA, WTF? The more I read your post, the more horrible I realized your dad was, and it was so crazy seeing you come to that realization too. Good for you, OP. The post felt like this bittersweet moment, watching you go through your toxic dad's Christmas to becoming a boss and kicking the same dad out of your life. Way to go. Mother-in-law is a phenomenal cook. This turkey is the first thing she made that I didn't like. But it was awful. I don't think mother-in-law even basted it, so it was dry, overcooked, and like stepfather-in-law said, tasted like sawdust. Thanksgiving is supposed to be our holiday with my husband's family. Mother-in-law does not like this and wants Christmas. As a result, she usually treats us kind of shitty on Thanksgiving to begin with, but last year was a mess. Note, I always offer to help with the cooking or bring a dish, and she always turns me down. So last year we arrived, she did her typical routine of ignoring us, and then she served all the traditional sides. This dry-ass turkey, and she sat down with some meatballs that were just for her. Everyone asked why she was eating meatballs, and she said it is her house. Her husband whined because he wanted some, but she said they were leftovers and there wasn't enough for him. She said turkey is stupid anyway. No one liked the turkey, so stepfather-in-law decided to grill some steak. He also made a turkey burger for his mom, but said that he wasn't cooking for anyone else because he isn't our slave. So at this point, mother-in-law, stepfather-in-law, and his mom have different food. And me, my kids, my husband, stepfather-in-law's stepfather, and mother-in-law's parents have this shit turkey. I felt humiliated and said I was leaving. Mother-in-law just rolled her eyes. I got some grief from mother-in-law's parents about how Thanksgiving isn't about the food. But I snapped at them that my kids weren't going to be treated like shit. We left and went to a buffet. It wasn't great, and the whole day was a letdown. My husband acted like I ruined Thanksgiving because he said there were enough sides and we should have stayed as her sides were better than that shitty buffet. I set a boundary that I would never spend another Thanksgiving with her. She made us feel like second-class citizens, and she clearly can't cook turkey. Today, everyone is mad at me and accusing me of being petty and ruining my husband's relationship with mother-in-law. Mother-in-law is roasting a chicken this year, so I know we wouldn't have to eat dry turkey. But to me, it is the principle. I am refusing to go or send my kids, and I told my husband he's free to go, but I will be extremely hurt if he leaves his nuclear family to see mommy. I do think it's shitty to designate your husband's family only for Thanksgiving and never for Christmas. That popped out as a red flag to me. It seems like you're controlling, critical, and probably not a pleasant daughter in law, and they are shitty hosts, and there's probably a lot of anger under the surface on all sides. You said she was ignoring you, but cooking an entire Thanksgiving meal is stressful, and she was probably busy. You said she is normally a good cook. She tried her best and isn't even cooking turkey this year. Continuing to talk about how badly she cooked the turkey, which is expensive and a lot of work, is extremely rude. Let it go. The father-in-law probably was the rudest one, but you have a vendetta against your mother-in-law and are manipulating your husband by saying you will be hurt and angry if he goes to see his mommy. Sounds like you already don't let him see his family on Christmas. ESH. NTA. The other day, it was fine for one wife to go to her family's annual Christmas celebration, but today, it's wrong for this family to do the same. OP says her family makes sure the kids have fun, while the in-laws make the kids play in another room. That's not spending time together. OP says mother-in-law treats her shitty usually. I'd say it's true after mother-in-law chooses not to eat a dry-ass turkey but instead expects her grandkids to do so. Mother-in-law was fine with her husband making another meal for himself and his mom. OP may not come across as a peach, but I don't know who would want to spend a holiday with these in-laws either. My sister-in-law, 34, loves to cook and try new recipes, which I, 30, female, am very happy to try usually. But I have food sensitivities. Anything seafood just makes me gag. It's a trauma response. Our mom was allergic to seafood when we were kids, and she had a full-blown anaphylactic shock in front of me when I was like 4, and I haven't been able to eat anything that comes out of water since even a little bit of nori as a garnish makes a dish unpalatable to me. My brother, 35, invited the entire family for dinner last Sunday, and when I asked what the menu was, he said his wife was keeping it a surprise. It didn't bother me since his wife knows the story. When we got there, I could tell from the smell that she had been cooking fish. I was a little disappointed, but assumed that I would have a side or two I could eat, and if I was hungry when we left, I could always stop to get something. Well, when we sat down, I realized that there was seafood in everything. Shrimp in the rice, the main dish was salmon, nori in the roasted veggies. The only thing I could eat was dessert. I asked if she had anything without seafood. She looked at me and said, "You need to get over yourself. Your mom is not even allergic to seafood anymore." I just said, "I'll just order then, no biggie." She blew up and said I was being disrespectful and a spoiled brat, that we had talked about it before and that I was selfish for keeping seafood off the family dinner menu for everyone, which is not true. I always say, if they want seafood, they can. Just let me know first and I'll make sure to bring something else for myself. I'm not really the confrontational type, so I just got up and left. My brother has been blowing up my phone saying I should apologize and was being disrespectful. My mom is on my side and dad refuses to take a side because he gets where I was coming from, but still thinks it was disrespectful. My mom did really lose her allergy to seafood. She got tested and everything. It was an allergy that she developed as a child and it just went away at the beginning of menopause. She was super happy because she had great memories of seafood as a child, and they had a big celebratory dinner at a fancy seafood place. Didn't change a thing for me. So I told my brother about this post, and he doesn't want me to go into too much details. He's too ashamed. I've never seen my big brother so small. Let's just say she is lucky she had yoga. So here is what I can say. It was a weird loyalty test for him and a way to drive a wedge between us. He'll be staying with me till he's back on his feet and contacting a lawyer. NTA at all. I'm the same way with eggs. If I can see, taste, or smell them in a dish that someone intends for me to eat, I will get physically ill. Unlike OP, though, my psychological problem with eggs is because my abusive stepmother, monster, used to force feed nasty, greasy, half-cooked scrambled eggs to me when I was a child. Then, when I got old enough that she couldn't hold me down to force feed them to me, she would forbid me to eat anything else until I caved and ate the eggs, even if she had refrigerated them and they were cold when I gave in. NTA, I don't eat seafood. I'm also the general host of most holiday family meals. I've made allowances for vegetarians, celiac, lactose intolerant, various allergies, and other food-related trauma. Mushrooms and lobster. The first was stomach pumping. The second was food poisoning. It's not that effing hard. Your sister-in-law is just an a-hole. What was her end goal? To prove you were wrong? To cure you? To one-up you? To force you to eat? What in the actual hell is wrong with her? Why would she do this? In the culture I come from, she has committed the horrific sin of being a poor hostess by not providing food for her guests. I mean, even if I invited you to the Feast of the Seven Fishes, I'd make sure you had non-seafood sides available. Well, I'd be eating them too. We would be talking about this horrible lapse for many, many years to come and never trust her to host a meal again. She is a nasty little bullying a-hole. In fact, I suggest you send your brother my reply because my inner Nona, who made full Thanksgiving for folks with many different food issues, is just that